Hello, and welcome to another Decisions training video. Today, we are going to be discussing culture in decisions. So, what is culture from a decisions context? It is a configurable setting at the account or global level that allows for a more curated user experience. I recognize that definition is a little bit broad, so let me give you an idea of the kind of things that it affects. So, for user-facing entities such as reports and pages and forms, you can see aspects of the portal change, such as on reports, to better reflect formats of geographical regions or cultures where you might expect to see a different date-time format or currency format or any other type of format for that matter. So as you can see here, when we have the culture set to United States culture, the departure date is in month, day, year, and the cost is $45.99 in dollars. Whereas when we set it to GB Great Britain, we have the departure date set in day, month, year, and the cost £45.99. So, these are not the only two cultures. There are quite a variety of options that you can choose from in decisions to set the portal or a user's account to. The other thing this allows you to do is to curate the date-time translation to that particular region for which the culture is set. Now, this only works if you have date-time translation already enabled in the platform. Setting this will not do it for you automatically, but that is the topic of a different video. So, how do you set the culture? Well, there are two different ways you can do it. The first way you can do it is by setting it on an account-to-account basis. That is, when you go in and edit an account, you can change the culture from blank, which is the default, to the specified culture that you want that account to view the data in. If you want the culture set for the portal entirely, you can go to the System, Settings, and Portal Settings. Then underneath the Globalization category, you will see the culture that you can set for the portal. This will set the portal for all accounts that do not have a particular culture configured. So what happens if you have a conflict of cultures? Well, I'd like to go over 3 different scenarios to explain how decisions might handle potential conflicts. The first of which is if the user culture is set to none and there is a portal culture set. In that case, the portal culture will win out because the user does not have one set. In scenario number 2, let's say that both the user culture and the portal culture are set to different cultures. In that case, the user culture for that user is going to win out. Even if the user culture varies differently from user to user, their culture will always take precedence over the portal culture when it comes to viewing the portal through their environment. Let's go over the third scenario, where neither the user nor the portal has a culture set. Well, Decisions has a check for this. If you try to set the portal culture to none, it will revert it back to a default culture, typically English, and from there, it will then override, just like in scenario 1, the non-cultured user. Now, there's a particular culture I want to go over in the platform called the null invariant language culture. If you set your portal to this culture, any users who are using this culture will not be able to perform basic actions in the portal, such as being able to fix the error themselves, even if they have an admin account, being able to access the accounts at all, or a lot of other reports for that matter. Basically, this will break your Decisions environment, so we highly recommend not doing this. So, now that we've gone over the basics, let's show you how to set up the user and portal culture within the Decisions environment. Welcome back to my Decisions environment. So, I mentioned that there are 2 ways that we can set the culture, either on an individual basis at the account level or at the global level. I'm going to show you how to do the global level first. So you'll navigate to Settings, go to Portal Settings, and then we are going to go to the culture area. So right now it is set to English, United States, but let's suppose I wanted to change that to something else, like Ethiopia. When I hit Save here, you will see that the format of the date time is now year, month, day. Additionally,
if I go to a report that I'm running, you will see that the currency gets updated as well. As you can see, we're still in year, month, day, and the report got updated to the local currency.
So two things to keep in mind are, first of all, this is just displaying a different symbol and different formatting for the currency. This does not convert US dollars into Ethiopian currency at the current exchange rate. All it is exchanging is the formatting, not the value. Secondly, if you are using a culture in which right to left text is typically the way that the language is read, decisions does not update with that right to left text formatting. You can set this up using CSS, but you do not have the ability to set that solely by changing the culture.
Now let's say you wanted a particular account to have a different culture, but you wanted the main culture for those not assigned a particular culture to be Ethiopian. Well, then we would navigate to Accounts. I'm going to select my account for the purposes of demonstration. And at the top we have User Culture. Let's say I wanted to set this to British. I would save that. And now you can see the format is now in day, month, year. And if we go back to that same report that I was showing you before, the cost is now in British pounds. As you can see, this does not just affect the running of the report, but the way data is displayed even in the designer. So, this has a lot of useful applications, and it can also perform time zone translation to that particular geographical region that you select, if you have time zone translation already enabled. Again, that is a topic for a separate video, but this allows you another way to change that. So that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this was helpful.